Growing hurts. I'm here to tell you, I'm sorry to break it to you, growing hurts. It's not the most painful thing you will ever do. The most painful thing that you will ever do is staying the same, looking back and realizing, wow, I could have really made an effort to change. I have been reflecting and I just had a thought and I was like, you know what, let me make this video because I want to be 100% transparent about my healing journey as someone who's gone through a lot of changes within the last 3 years. Ever since 2020, I went through a lot of health issues. I completely started to change as a person, and I used to be a completely different type of person. I used to just waste time with my friends, and a lot of these friends now I've had to cut them off. And I feel like this evening I've come home and I've been out, I've been busy, and I'm now reflecting on how much I've changed. Like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, wow, like I really am a different person. Like I've completely changed. And sometimes we don't think that's possible, but it really is. Like, I 100% am proof that you can become a different person, like a completely different person. You can go from being someone who's lazy, does things that are not good for their body, spends time with people that don't have the same goals, or they might have used to have the same goals as who I used to be, wastes time, participates in things that really are so unhealthy. When I look back at how much I used to, you know, do a lot of things to my body where it's just so unhealthy, and I really would never treat my body like that now. We have to go through these things sometimes, and it's really hard when you have to go through that growing pain. It's a very hard thing to deal with because, you know, you have this thing in your head that's set you in this way, and a lot of the time it's coping mechanisms, things that are making you think, I need to be like this to protect myself. I don't do any of those behaviors anymore. I take care of my body in a way that makes me feel really, really good now, and it took me such a long time to get that. And it really is hard when you know that you can be something and you've been that way for so long, and it's so hard to think, I don't think I can be better than I am because I've only learned how to cope this way. But I really want to just tell you that you can, and it's crazy. I'm very emotional making this video because there was times where I just thought I couldn't. I had such bad health problems, so I would do these behaviors to try and deal with it and cope. But looking back, it's like it was the worst thing for me. But I thought, oh, that will help me, that will make me feel better. But it didn't make me feel better in the long run. Everything I've done now, it's been hard. There are still times where, like, you know, I don't have my old coping skills, but the fact that I don't, and I have to rely on, you know, getting to know myself and feeling these emotions, these raw emotions, and not hiding from them, I've become such a wiser and stronger person. So I feel like sometimes you don't even realize how far you've come. It's been 2 years since I made drastic changes to my lifestyle, to how I approach my goals. I would stop doing all these bad things, but then I would start again. I had a history of stopping and starting, all these negative things for my body, for my mind, everything. But now I've gone 2 years keeping this consistency. I work out regularly, I take care of my body, and I feel like so many girls, so many boys, it doesn't matter who you are, we go through these things and we don't even give ourselves credit when we come out the other side, when you're a completely different person. So please, if you can see one thing that you've done, that you've made a difference, you've changed, even cutting off friends, that's amazing. The fact that you were able to have people in your life that you loved, but they just were not good for you, and you could cut them off, I want you to be proud of yourself, because that's a very hard thing to do. It's very hard, and we don't speak about it enough because we focus so much on just, oh, get rid of them, but getting rid of these people is hard. Getting rid of these habits is hard. Getting rid of anything that is bad for you is hard. No one said it's going to be easy, but what will be harder is staying the same and realizing that you have not changed. You've not made any effort to make any difference to your life. You just decided, okay, well, that's the best I can do. That's not the best you can do, and you know it, and I knew it, but I would just tell myself all these excuses. But I knew I could be a stronger person, a more resilient person, a more consistent person, but I chose not to be. And I decided to make a conscious effort to actually stop making excuses. And I feel like, as hard as it's been with the growing pains of losing people, it's very sad, these things that we have to do. I've cut off people that were not good for me, and sometimes these people aren't even bad people. It's just right now where I'm at, I have such a different view of life. I just can't have that affecting me, especially when you're not nurturing me. So I think you have to really look at what is nurturing you in your life and what is not nurturing you. And it's hard. I feel very emotional even talking about this. When I was just looking at myself in the mirror and I had this thought about, wow, you really have changed, I almost feel so proud of myself, and I'm very happy that I'm like able to sit here and say this. So please, if you're not there yet and you haven't made the steps to start feeling proud of yourself, I want you to at least watch this and know that you can do that for yourself. I'm proof you can change. A lot of the time, sometimes I even think this myself, I think, oh, can people really change? Like, we all have our tendencies, but the fact that I have been able to change so drastically, it's ridiculous. I didn't think this was possible. So now I think I'm going to give other people the benefit of the doubt. Like, the people that I've cut off, I'm going to look at it like, if you decide, you know, you might change, then who's to say we can't be friends in the future? But I think you've got to focus on the present and what's right for you right now. You can reassess things in the future, but there are some things that are never going to be good for you. I just realized the phone is slanted. There are some things that are just never going to be good for you. It's something you have to come to terms with. Like, there are behaviors that were very much a coping style, and I look back and I'm like, I really wish I could still do that stuff sometimes. But then I'm like, no. When I think about how it made me feel in the long run, it's something I don't want to do. Sometimes you can get a quick gratification from doing something, texting that person that is toxic, being friends with these people that do not make you feel good, but it makes you feel like you're involved in something, doing something that is not good for your body, overeating because it makes you feel good in the moment. All these things are quick fixes, and what they actually do is, it's not even that they just fix it for a second and then the pain comes back. They fix it for a second and the pain comes back 10 times worse than it would have if you just left it. It's like you've got a wound and you're just chucking all this salt on it and you think that that's gonna fix it. It's not. It's making it worse. So you need to think, what are you actually doing? Growing hurts. I'm here to tell you, I'm sorry to break it to you, growing hurts. It's not the most painful thing you will ever do. The most painful thing that you will ever do is staying the same and looking back and realizing, wow, I could have really made an effort to change. I could still be doing the same things I was doing 2 years ago and made no effort to change, and then be sitting here thinking, oh, I'll change. I know people that literally talk like that. Oh, I'll stop soon. I'll stop soon. No. When are you going to look at yourself and say, no, that's enough? And I feel very strongly about this, and I feel that I want other people to know their worth, that you are enough. You have enough worth within you to make that decision now and stop making excuses. And I say this from love. I don't say this from hate. I don't say this to belittle you, but I say this from a point of, how bad does it have to get for you to want to change? How bad did things have to get? When I got so ill, there was a time when I was so ill and I wasn't in critical condition, but I just was in so much pain that every day I would wake up and I'd be like, I just wish I wasn't here. And it wasn't a thing where I was depressed like because I hated life. I just hated being in pain, and I would wake up every day just being like, this is life, this is what life is. And it was for a year like that. I remember it was very hard for me, and I used to lean on other things that I would do to try and cope. But now I look back and I'm like, that's how bad things had to get for me to look at my life when things started to get better and think, what do I really want my life to be? What do I really want my life to be? So don't wait until things get bad like that, because it's going to hurt even more than if you start doing it before things get bad and you start taking the time. Because when it gets bad, you'll be forced to do it. If you're doing something now and you don't care about the health risks, when your health gets messed up from it, you'll be forced to do it, because then you'll care. You will care. You might say you don't care. You will care. When you're not taking your future seriously and you're not looking at your goals, and then all of a sudden it's been 10 years and you're like, oh, I haven't done anything, then you'll care. I just wanted to make this video really quickly because I was reflecting, and I feel like sometimes you need this reflection. To you, whoever you are, I'm proud of you. Subscribe to this channel. It's new, but it's a hidden gem. And just because it's a new channel, you know what I like to say, just because I'm new does not mean I'm not speaking facts. Welcome to Waves Unleashed, and I've just unleashed some waves on you.